Just want to welcome everybody to our very special webinar all about standing out in today's market by leveraging Matterport to win listings and attract more buyers. We're so thrilled that you're all able to join us today and are spending your time to come and learn more about some amazing solutions we have for you. So first, I just have some housekeeping items. Please submit your questions in the Q&A tab on your screen. We want to hear from you, so don't be shy. The session will be recorded and available on demand, and we'll be sharing it out to everybody who registered tomorrow. Do not drop off before the end of the session. If you have to, don't worry, but those who stay on will be in the running for free giveaways, and everyone will get an exclusive promo code for an additional $50 off our summer promo. So that's $100 off your next order. Pretty good deal. Next, I just want to introduce myself. I'm excited to be one of your hosts. My name is Kate Rummelard. I'm on the marketing team with VHT Studios and Matterport. We also have Lucy Edwards here today, co-hosting. She's our Director of Strategic Engagement. Most of you probably know Lucy, along with her monthly talk show, Lunch with Lucy. She's out and about interviewing industry experts, attending many industry events. So welcome, Lucy.
Thank you. And I would like to invite our audience to participate in the chat or in Q&A during the webinar. If you have any questions or if you have any comments, please participate. Thank you.
Yes. And next, I'll introduce our expert and our guest. We have Vince Calora. He's the Director of Operations at VHT and Matterport. He's our subject matter and product expert, our go-to for all photography and media information. So welcome, Vince.
Hello, hello.
And then next we have our agent who's very familiar with using Matterport 3D tours, John Messina with Daniel Gale Sotheby's International Realty in Long Island, New York. Welcome, John.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. So last thing, just our agenda for today, we'll do a quick intro to VHT and Matterport, review some stats around trends we're seeing in today's market, and then we'll talk about how VHT can equip you for success. We'll end with some Q&A, and that is all for today. Okay, so let's get started. I'll hand it right over to Vince.
All right, thank you, Kate. So, as some of you may already know, Matterport acquired VHT Studios last year. Since we joined forces, we've been busy kind of tuning our offerings across the entire organization to provide more options for everyone here, guiding the company as a whole in figuring out how to really navigate the nuances of working with agents, brokers, and photographers. Matterport's already been in the business and they've already really built a name for themselves, but we recognize that, you know, the way VHT Studios works within real estate and the deep connections that we have with our agent partners allows us to bring a lot more to the organization. So we've been really busy kind of collaborating and expanding within Matterport to bring that knowledge into the DNA of who we are as a company. You know, our goal is, and it has really always been, to improve how people interact with physical properties in a digital world, right? At its core, photography has always been, or media has always been, about helping buyers find the perfect home and helping sellers find the perfect buyer. So for Matterport, this extends well beyond the world of real estate. Matterport works across a wide range of sectors to help companies manage their physical spaces remotely. Matterport tech has been used to scan more than 22 billion square feet so far. And that number, actually, Kate, we'll update that next time we do this. I think it's 24 now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Billion square feet. So look, what do we want everybody to take away from today's session? We want to share with you how you can rise above the competition, stand out, and be more successful by using high-end professional media and leveraging everything that we have to offer. So kind of setting things up, right? We're going to take a second to calibrate. A lot's changed for agents in the last couple of years. We've all kind of figured out a way to navigate, post-COVID, right? And the market, it looks like it's changing again. There's way more competition for way fewer listings. According to the data from Realtor, this year's listing season is off to a way slower start than previous years, and there's way fewer houses coming on the market versus previous years at the same time. So just looking at the data that's on your screen, right? And I'm preaching to the choir, right? Like you can't be an agent and not know this is going on. So in almost like quite literally every market, new listings are way down, days on market are up, and active listings are also up. So, yeah, that makes one thing clear, right? Houses aren't selling themselves anymore. The real estate, market has that cycle, right? And COVID definitely brought an element of it to the forefront and really amplified it, but they're not just doing it for us anymore. Sellers, they're way more anxious than ever before, right? We've given them a market where pricing kind of went kind of wacky and haywire for a while, and it's starting to normalize. People are on edge. And the competitive landscape for agents to win listings is harder than ever. So I'm going to turn it over to Lucy now to hear from John a little bit and kind of talk about that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Vince. Now it's a great time to actually check in with our guest, John Messina. John and I, we go back many, many years, and I have great respect for John and his marketing strategy for every property. And I would like to find out, John, what's going on in the field. And Kate, let's also launch our first poll, and please participate in the poll. We'd love to know what you are going through, and we, very, very much interested in our audience, what's happening right now. So very excited to find out what do you see, and do you believe it's still seller's market?
It's definitely still a seller's market. We're at Long Island. We're basically two counties, Nassau, which is a little bit smaller or considerably smaller than Suffolk. But the active listings, like Vince was saying, Nassau County, we're down 15% from last year in Nassau and 38%, which is incredible to me, in Suffolk. Our absorption rate or our days on the market are fairly consistent with last year at 60 days.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm again reaching out to our audience. Please let us know what you see in your market, and please mention what market you are in. Or do we have the results, Kate?
Yeah, can you see those? Yep.
90%. Yeah.
Yeah, buyers 8 points. Oh, and sellers. Okay. Great. That's exactly what we expected, right? Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for participating.
Awesome.
Back to you, Kate.
Yes. Okay. So, Vince. Oh, it's my turn. Okay. So we actually did a survey at Matterport.
So, hey, Kate, I just want to flag you are on the other Zoom screen, Google Slide screen.
Okay. Thank you very much.
A note to the audience, there could be way worse notes there, like make sure Vince stays on track. Make sure Vince doesn't ramble. Make sure Vince sticks to the script, because that
Make sure Vince doesn't use product placement.
Okay, is this right now?
Yeah, now you're looking good, Kate.
Okay, thank you so much.
And I should have used the opportunity to read the question. I have a Matterport tour on one of my current listings. How do I get this upload to Zillow as one of the 3D tours that show up? And why would you want to upload it to Zillow? Upload it to your MLS, your realtor.com, and your website.
So I will encourage people to submit your questions through the Q&A thing, right? Not the chat, because it's going to be a little bit tricky to track. And a question like that we would throw towards one of our subject matter experts. So Kate, I would say we'd probably have, John Bosch shoot a quick response on that offline.
Yeah, we can follow up with you after the show on that. All right, so back to our presentation here. Matterport conducted a survey in February with home buyers and sellers across the nation to dig into these numbers a little bit more. So let's take a look at a couple key findings. And here we are.
So we asked which tools were most important to aid buyers in making their decision. And no surprise, right? Photography is still the most important app, like by far. But 3D tours are more important than floor plans, which was a huge surprise to us because historically we see more agents request a floor plan than a 3D tour. overall, our stats, they show that less than 5% of listings even have any sort of 3D tour. We think this represents a great opportunity for agents to really stand out and deliver what buyers want, right? The data is here. Buyers are saying, hey, obviously, second to photography, the next thing I want is I want to be able to really virtually visit the space. And hello, the market has less than 5% of listings with some sort of 3D tour on it. So we can also see that home buyers spend more time viewing listings with 3D tours. So their time on the listing page itself is way higher. In fact, we've done a number of studies on this, and the data shows that for an average of 2,400 square foot home, viewers spend an additional 4.5 minutes viewing the listing when it features a 3D tour with, over a similar listing with just photography. So, I'm speaking to a group of agents, right? I know how important it is. Everybody here understands how important it is to increase the amount of time buyers spend looking at your listing. More time equals more interest, and more interest means your listing is connecting with their hearts and minds. So right there, there's data, and Kate, I would even say, like, let's back up and page through it one more time to really drive home the point, right? 67% of buyers are saying 3D tours, 3D or video, right? Those are huge. We want them. And then 5% of listings actually have it. So there's a huge opportunity. Lucy, I think we should hear from John on this.
Absolutely. John, I have a couple questions for you. How much more engagement do you see on your listings when you are using 3D tours, which basically you are using it on every listing? But would you compare it to with or without? And I also would like to know, what do your sellers think about 3D tour, and how they what is their response?
So we definitely see them loitering on the listing much more time. We've been able to track that. And, I think, we really employed it on every single listing, not only because of the pandemic and we were having difficulty getting into the multiple showings, but the way my sellers started to feel about this is that these were the showings that we get, that when we ask the buyer or the buyer's agent, have your client seen the 3D tour? And when it's answered yes, that showing, that first physical showing, is really a second showing. And so my clients are kind of enthusiastic about making sure the house is pristine, the house is ready to go, and they really take it seriously. I mean, I do too, but you don't feel like it's like it could be a potential waste of time. And I think that is great for the sellers to know that, because we were united in trying to market their property and get it done.
Yeah, and plus probably you have quite a few buyers now that are traveling not just from next door town or city, but from far away. So you are saving buyers time also, I guess, for them not to sit in traffic for 45 minutes.
That, and their processing power has just gotten better, right? The phones are incredible now and so robust, so that, the Matterport tour someone looked at 2 years ago versus today, it's light speed difference.
Yeah, I agree with you completely.
Cool. And we have some results from our poll here, just polling the audience on how many of them actually use Matterport 3D tours on their listings. So it looks like a little more than half of them haven't, but plan to use them. And then we've got 11% that uses them on most, if not all, of their listings. So that's cool.
Oh, that's cool. Great. Thank you, everybody, for participating.
Yeah.
Nice. So now that we've seen some data, right, and we have a better understanding of today's buyers and sellers and what all this sort of looks like, let's dive into what VHT Studios and Matterport can do to help you succeed. So I'm super excited to say that now we have more tools available than ever to create the best possible online showing for your listings. Platinum, gold, silver photography shot with a DSLR camera, Matterport 3D tours, video offerings, drone offerings, floor plans. VHT has a full suite of tools to help you ensure that you have everything you need to successfully market all of your listings. We're going to touch on a lot of this. We'll start with what people are most familiar with, and that's traditional photography. It's shot with a DSLR camera by a professional photographer. At VHT, we offer 3 levels of photography: platinum, gold, and silver. Platinum being our highest end offering, silver being our most basic offering, and gold really being what we call the gold standard for real estate, which services a whole lot of the market that we cover. Today, we're going to highlight gold. We're going to talk about Gold Series with the Matterport 3D tour and floor plan. So if there's a reason Gold Series photography is our most popular, and I'm super proud of the product. I've personally invested a whole lot of my life making our image look like this. But what makes gold the best? It really starts with our talent, right? The photographers on site. Gold photography is captured by seasoned professionals, folks who came to VHT already a great photographer, but then put through a rather extensive, coaching course and work to, sort of cover gold certification. So we take a good photographer or a great photographer, and we teach them how to do things in the way that we can make the most of what they're capturing. So really, at the end of the day, and hopefully you're looking at your screen right now, stunning imagery starts with composition, and that's what our team excels at. There's a whole lot of technical stuff behind it, right, that goes into creating each gold photograph. I know we've got some photographers on the call, so nobody here would be surprised to hear that we're doing 5 to 7 brackets, right? Flambient. We're grabbing these frames, and we've got editors that are layering these raw files and merging them to create a final image that takes full advantage of the complete range of everything that the camera can capture, times 5 to 7 exposures. So it really provides us maximum brilliance, detail, and clarity. It provides breathtaking imagery, and it's something we're really proud of. Whenever somebody chooses VHT's gold photography package, they have the opportunity to enhance it with the Matterport 3D tour and floor plan. And that's something I definitely encourage everybody to consider, and here's why. A 3D tour enables buyers to really explore the property virtually at any time from any location, providing an immersive 24/7 open house experience. The 3D tour, or digital twin, is really what we like to say at Matterport, allows viewers to navigate the space and truly visualize themselves living in the home. The most significant benefit of the 3D tour is really what we touched on earlier, the time on site, right? The ability to capture the mind share of potential buyers. There's an immense value of mind share in differentiating a property from its competition, and a Matterport-enabled property offers an unparalleled level of information and engagement, allowing buyers to deeply think about, deeply contemplate the home and better understand its potential. This could be a huge game changer when you're competing against listings that don't have that level of detail, that level of availability. Kate's stepping through one right now. Hopefully here on this call, everybody's familiar with this product. We can do so much more, and we can capture so much more attention by just making this available to buyers. Additionally, I probably should mention, right, we've been working with our photographers. A majority of our photographers are able to shoot the home, right, provide the traditional photography services, as well as do the scanning of the property for 3D, which means, everything can be accomplished in one single appointment, not needing to have several professionals come out to the home. Floor plans also serve as a really important addition to both the photography and 3D tour, offering a really straightforward illustration of the property's layout and room dimensions. When you get a Matterport 3D tour through VHT Studios, the floor plan is conveniently created from the scan, eliminating the need for our people to walk through the home again to create the floor plan, and really adding that value into what you get. It might sound duplicative to have a floor plan and a 3D tour, since in reality, you can get everything a floor plan can tell you from the 3D tour. But let's not forget that as much as we're a digital first company, and that's, this digital media is at the core of everything we do, we still live in a world where print is still a factor. So you incorporate your floor plans into your printed materials, into your show sheets, your leave behinds, and you give somebody something to somebody that they can walk away with. We think about, every floor plan, I hope, lands on somebody's kitchen table to sit down with their partners. So they're discussing and they're pointing at it, right? They're not sitting at their laptop all the time, but you've got that floor plan. And again, it's a differentiator. In In our best markets, we see floor plan penetration at like 30% of listings. So keep in mind that, when you want to talk about standing out against your competition, you have the ability to add a 3D tour, which 95% of listings don't have. You have the ability to add a floor plan, which still a majority of listings don't have. Having everything really provides a solid media set that I would guess that less than 3% of listings that you're competing with have. Lucy, John, what can you guys kind of add to this?
Yeah, I think, I personally love floor plans, and I do believe that floor plans and your print material is very useful because quite a few people still enjoy holding the brochures and taking something home besides just an MLS printout. So yeah, I totally agree with you, Ben. And I would like to ask John, so you are a huge gold photography and Matterport 3D tour user. Why are you choosing those tools, and what do they bring to your marketing strategy?
It's the richness and the beautiful composition of the photos, which was the thing that sold me from the beginning. Because I was a long time with another company, and I felt like the photos were flat. I had to use your company for one shoot, and I was hooked. And it's so important for us to not only have the composition and the lighting and everything perfect, but being able to, for me, it's a simple thing, being able to see through the windows. As you saw in that little tutorial, how many beautiful views we have in these gorgeous properties. We're in a waterfront community. If the wrong photo is taken, you're not going to see the waterfront from the inside of the house. And that was, bar none, that was the main thing, main reason why I went into it. And then when we started talking about the Matterport and doing the 3D tours, it made sense to have it all together as one suite. And every person should have a floor plan when they leave your listings. There is no reason not to have this. We get paid a lot of money on our deals. There is no reason why we can't invest that. Sorry, guys, but there's no reason why we can't invest it. And it's kind of a bummer when I go to show someone else's listing and I got to even ask for it, and the answer is no. And that's just something that we should be able to provide the same services, irrespective of the listing price. That's my feeling anyway.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much. Appreciate the feedback like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
John, I love everything that you're saying because, I said it earlier, right? I've invested a lot of my energy into gold. I mean, I'll put it out there. I developed gold for the New York City market, right? Like when I got into this business with Gotham Photo Company, we made our bones in New York City and built market share because of gold. And to hear like the points that you're talking about, it just sings, right? Because I'm like, that's what I was hoping for in 2004 when we started. And then the floor plan, that's another piece of it, right? Like I always have this joke, and I think it gets edited out. Like Kate says, Vince, don't say that. So I'm going to break the rule, right? That we know more about the produce that we buy when we go to the grocery store, right? And we buy apples, right? Than most people have easily accessible about listings, right? You don't have a floor plan. You don't have measurements. You don't have real accurate square footage. You have city records, right? You've got some filings, but we don't have a lot of dependable data. And this is the most important investment most people make in their lives. So, when you talk about how important it is to you, you're really speaking to that, that resonates with me because again, how can we really, with a straight face, be in this industry selling properties and not informing people as much as possible to what's really important to them? So thanks for your words on that. I think it really speaks to the value prop.
Thanks for doing such a great job.
Thank you. FYI, none of that was rehearsed, and Kate's going to yell at me after the show. So I would like to, now that we've talked about the benefits of traditional photography and Matterport, I want to introduce our newest service, Digital Pro. We'll talk about what makes it such an innovative and affordable choice. For VHT and really for the industry, Digital Pro is a completely new type of service. Rather than using the DSLR camera, right? Our photographers, they're leveraging the advanced capabilities of Matterport's 3D cameras to scan every space in your property, generating a comprehensive digital twin. If you're not familiar with that term, and that's something that I've dropped a couple of times in this presentation so far, a digital twin is essentially a virtual replica of your property that we use to create all of the media for your listing. It's what you're familiar with when you look at a Matterport 3D tour. That is a view of the digital twin. So from that digital twin, within Digital Pro, we create everything you need to market your listing: photos, 3D tour, floor plan, and a preview video. We've already covered 3D tours and floor plans, so let's focus on the new, sort of the two new pieces of media that we include within Digital Pro: photos and the preview video. I want to highlight the photos that are part of Digital Pro's service. It's essential to know that all of the images here, right, there's samples on screen right now, they're derived from the 3D scan of the property. This isn't taken from a photographer's camera. And one significant advantage of Digital Pro over traditional photography is that, we're doing the composition essentially virtually, right? We're doing what the photographer does on site through the model, which means we can revisit the 3D model at any time to capture additional images. So if there's a space we haven't already represented, we don't need to go reshoot the property. It gives us a lot of ability to create a really comprehensive media set. Unlike our other offerings, when I had said we're doing the composition virtually, like that is a huge innovation where we're taking that time and responsibility and we're shifting it. We're allowing it to happen offsite. So, in the world of Digital Pro, a photographer can be very efficient in capturing, and then the art can happen a little bit later on. So our editors are actually crafting these compositions by working within the 3D model of the property. Instead of the photographer being on site, they're doing it online. They're doing it virtually. And, just like all media produced by VHT Studios, we understand that image is everything, which is why every Digital Pro photo is meticulously enhanced and optimized by our skilled editing team. The process ensures that the final results are nothing short of stunning, leaving a lasting impression on potential buyers. So, looking at your screen right now, this is all work that stands up very well, right? I would never have thought 3 years ago, 4 years ago, that we could do this remotely, but this is the world that we live in, and Digital Pro is producing some stunning results. So I want to also talk a little bit about the preview video, because this is a new asset that most people haven't utilized before. The teaser video, it's a great tool for social media and online advertising that offers just enough of the digital twin to capture somebody's curiosity. We're not sitting there spinning the 3D model around, but we're showing what we call the dollhouse view and bringing it right into the space. And our goal in that is to really, again, help you compete, right? You're going to notice that through line here, help you stand out, help you compete. Well, let's think about social media. Let's think about the scrolling, right? People are posting listings all the time. People are posting homes all the time. Everybody who's on social media that's looking for a home, right? That's in this community, they're seeing homes and they're not surprised to see them. But when you're using our preview video, we're doing something different, right? We're showing a view of the home that you can't actually see in real life, and we're giving them that hint. So really, our goal with the preview video is to just point at your listing and say, wait, this one has something different for you. This one has something more for you. So, think about it as really an attention-grabbing tool.
I love it.
Lucy, let's talk about listing presentations.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're coming full circle here to the end of our time together. And it all comes back to standing out of the competition. And it all starts with listing presentations. It's also important to really showcase all the efforts you are making to market their home and to market the property. The tech-forward strategy you are implementing, John, is just really makes the difference. And also, you are doing everything that other agents are not doing. Not all agents, not all other agents, but quite a few are not really investing in their listings. And whether you are using Digital Pro or Gold Photography with 3D Tour and a floor plan, show them the samples, and please talk to your seller and explain about the product and let them study the product after you leave. And we do have a question in the audience to you, for you, John. Do you print out the floor plan itself and leave it like on the counter? How you deal with that? And then I have more questions coming.
All right. So when whether it's an open house or a buyer agent showing or a direct consumer, we provide exactly the same information: a show sheet, maybe a spec sheet, the floor plan. We also have started doing the QR codes. So if people don't want to handle paper, this is a pandemic thing, not so much now, but we have the QR code there that if they want to just go right to your suite, which has the photos and the Matterport, that as well. And so and this is for every house. Doesn't matter if it's a condo or a mega property, it's all the same.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up, because when you scan the QR code, you are right. You get the property website. It has the photographic photo gallery. It has the floor plan by itself that you can print out as a buyer or as a buyer's agent. It has the Matterport itself, the 3D tour. So it has everything, plus the description about the property. So yeah, that's thank you for mentioning that, John. And John, when it comes to listing presentation, what's the most important thing you can share with the audience, how you present to your sellers?
So many times I get called for houses that are maybe more modest nature, that they saw the advertising for the mega property. And what I want to impress to them is that it's the same service. It may not be the same house, but it's going to be the same quality of service and the same consistency. It's so important to us. I mean, unless somebody tells me, "Hey, I don't want my floor plan online," or "I don't want to have my virtual tour online," which is fine. We could deselect that. But basically, we want everybody to know they're getting the same service, the same quality of service, and I think that's important. I really do.
Oh, I totally agree with you. I strongly believe that every listing you invest in, it's investment in your future listings and your future presentation.
Right.
So,
and,
yes.
And how many times do we get a house from the same community, might be the similar style or the same style with just different colors or different the way it's pointing on the in the development, and we can go back to our past sales, our past inventory, and another feature you guys are talking about is that all the work that you do for me is there. It doesn't go anywhere. Some of these other companies, it's after a year you have to pay extra for it or whatever they do. It's a joke. And so I can go back a couple of years if I needed to, if I don't have it on my own computer or my own cloud, and I can go into your cloud and pull it out. Sometimes we do it on the fly when we're in a house and we say, "Oh yeah, this looks a little different than the pictures that were there. Let me show them another house I sold just similar to it."
That's fantastic. I would like to add, and it's a great thing that you can go back and check your listings. But just in case, I would strongly recommend for you to download, just in case, so you have it offline in case if you are doing presentation and you want to show the photos from the previous listing, you have it available if internet is weak or whatever. So please do that.
Yep.
And we do provide presentation flyer that you can download. We recommend that you leave the flyer behind with the seller at your listing appointment. Encourage the homeowner to scan the QR code and to check the 3D tour so they can do it at their own leisure. They can go back and forth and jump from floor to floor, navigate all the assets themselves in real time. And don't forget to give your seller our handy home prep checklist. That really helps for the photography, so the home is ready for the photo shoot. And this way, our photographers don't have to spend a lot of time on staging. They will spend time anyway, because for the composition, just like Vince was talking, but at least it will be less time consuming.
Okay, so we are a little bit over time, but let's take a couple of questions here. And then any questions we don't get to and what we answer, we're going to share out the full list in our follow-up email tomorrow. So don't worry, if we don't get to your question, we absolutely will address it. One of the questions I want to make sure that we hit on is from, let's see, Maria Elena. She's wondering if the photos in Digital Pro compare in quality to Gold, and if agents get to choose these photos from Digital Pro. Vince, can you take a shot at that?
Sure, sure. So I take a lot of pride in Gold, right? And Gold is definitely an offering that was built for the luxury market that we've extended and made accessible for mid-market. I would say it places well next to Gold, right? Gold is going to give you a more bespoke experience, right? You're getting the full sort of artistic prowess of the photographer. And, you know, we can do a little bit more in terms of the editing of the color depth, right? And really showing the light, showing through the windows, right? With the DSLR photography. So what I would say is, you know, we look at Digital Pro as a product, right? An image set that produces great coverage and good photography. I would have to say Gold provides you an even higher end level of imagery. So Gold is better in a lot of ways, right? Digital Pro produces some really solid imagery. As far as selecting the photos go, you do get, just like you get all of the photos that we produce when we go through the tour and we virtually photograph it. There's no limitation to the number of photographs. So for instance is, you know, if we capture this frame and you say, hey, I'd like to see a little bit more of X, we're not charging to go back into the model and create the photograph. So it's a little bit of a different experience. Depending on your market, you might be familiar with proofing through VHT, or you might be in a market that doesn't do proofing. So I'm not really sure where your point of reference is, but what I can tell you with Digital Pro, you get all of the photos that we produce. And if we need to give you more because you want a different view, that's no problem.
One last question before we get to our giveaway announcement here, because I've seen this quite a few times, people wondering how long it takes from either the first photography appointment or Digital Pro from the beginning being shot to having the full package ready for the listing.
Sure. So right now, what we say is we say 1 to 2 business days, right? With Gold, Silver, Platinum, with our traditional photography services, we're able to guarantee next business day turnaround. Now we say 1 to 2 business days. Over 98% of our jobs are turned over next day to the agent. But currently, the official answer is 1 to 2 business days because this is a new offering. We're only a couple of thousand jobs in. We have a much higher level of QA and scrutiny, and we're just doing a lot more manual review. So 1 to 2 business days for turnaround time on the whole package.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate, again, you spending time with us today in your busy schedules. So have a great day. Look for some follow-up from us tomorrow. And we just thank you. Thank you. And thank you to John. You're awesome.
Oh, thank you, John.
Yeah,
I was just going to
seriously,
say, John, thanks a lot.
Thank you. It's so nice to meet everybody and see everybody online. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
All the best. Cheers, everybody.
Bye.